everyone, and welcome back to the velveteenduck. In today's video, I'm covering the Desert of the Lost from the Desert of Essences event. I was actually whispered in-game by InTheFace, who requested that I make a video covering this topic. So, InTheFace, I hope you're watching. This one's for you. To enter, you require a realm path to the Desert of the Lost, which can be purchased from Thabo for some realm fragments. Upon entry, you are greeted by Abyss, a quest NPC, and a Shady John, a trader, in an area covered with a ceasefire effect that silences you. If you look on the minimap, you'll see several doorways marked on it. Those are the archways you activate to enter Kia Crystal of different colors. You also get an automatic quest called Sandstorms. The quest, Sandstorms, requires you to clear the entire map of all the monsters before the first wave spawns. For each wave cleared, you will be awarded a chest in the center of the map. The first wave that you actually clear is what I call Wave 0, because there is no sandstorm effect. If you are prone to missing a monster, just turn on the quest guidance to see where they are to save some time. If you are fond of using the quest guidance, unfortunately you do need to turn it on for each wave. Starting on Wave 1 all the way to the Sentinels' death, you are going to experience a sandstorm. The sandstorm actually applies two different debuffs, which you'll see in the lower right hand corner. One is a damage tick called Scorching Heat that applies the damage every few seconds as a percentage of your HP. The second applies a debuff called Sandstorm that decreases your movement speed, block rate, critical hit rate, and elemental resistances. The strength of the Sandstorm increases with each progressive wave. Based on this chart that I compiled of the debuffs, you can probably guess one of the key stats to have is fire resistance. However, you should also add in some poison resistance, as all the monsters on this map either deal physical or poison damage. Of course, now the question becomes, how do I survive this sandstorm? First things first, you need to understand that this map was designed to be played in a group, especially with a Dragonite, as the DK can easily offer group healing, as well as increased fire resistance from their group talents. Remember though, stick close to the DK to receive the healing and group effects. If you're constantly too far away, you're just going to die a sad death. However, if you don't have a group, can't find one, or don't want to find one, then here are a few suggestions to help with survival. Firstly, there is actually 7 safe zones on this map. The starting area and the 6 archways all cancel out the sandstorm. However, you need to be careful. Kill all the monsters first before you enter a ceasefire zone, as you can't use any of your skills there. As well, the delineation between sandstorm zone and safe zone is kind of blurry at best, so make sure you're fully in the safe zone, or you could be in the awkward situation where you're getting cooked by the sandstorm and you can't use your skills. As well, exiting and re-entering these safety zones also has the benefit of resetting the sandstorm debuffs temporarily. Take a look at the damage numbers that pop up as I exit the safety zone. I take less damage from the first tick of the Scorching Heat because the sandstorm debuffs is lagging behind it. So, put this little trick to good use. Secondly, make the necessary modifications to your equipment, gems, runes, and wisdom talents. Heck, use a physic or a tonic if you need it. Everything should be tailored towards either fire or poison resistances. If you do have enough resistances to survive, but find that you can't kill anything, consider fixing your critical hit rate instead, since that's the only offensive value that's actually impacted. Thirdly, make any necessary modifications to your skill tree. It's often forgotten, but every class has some healing in their skill trees, no matter how limited. Spellweavers have Magic Missile, Steam Mechs have Steam Conductor, Rangers have Deadly Blow and Wild Pack, Dragonites have Mighty Wild Swing and Dragon Hide, and what I've shown is just the experienced skill tree. There are more healing effects to be found in the group trees, which I won't dive into. Fourth, if you need even more healing, I would strongly suggest the Reformative Vigorous Potion. The heal over time feature from this potion is the perfect counter to damage over time problems. You can find these at any potion merchant in town for either some coin or some endermans. You can also craft your own if you have the right ingredients and the recipe. The rarity you select will depend on how strong your character is, namely how much fire resistance you have. For example, on the highest level of Sandstorm and Scorching Heat, I take 7.9k damage every 2 seconds. If I stood there and did absolutely nothing, it takes roughly 30 seconds to roast me to death. 30 seconds is a lot of time in a video game, so I just take the common or white rarity healing potion. You can always take a stronger one and adjust as needed. Lastly, don't bite off more than what you can chew. Due to the debuffs applied on this map, Tyr and I chose not to play on a higher difficulty than Infernal 1, whereas we normally do Infernal 3 maps. At some point in time, your inventory will likely fill up while you're farming. If you have the Wisdom Tree shop talents already, that's great. Find a safe zone and start selling. If you don't, then go back to the starting point and sell the Shady John. No need to leave loot on the ground. Finally, at the end of the waves, a Sentinel will spawn. There are 4 possible Sentinels, and if you kill them all, you get an achievement for it. Don't forget to pick up all your chests in the center of the map. After clearing everything, you'll now need to pick an archway to go through. If you're playing in a group, only one player needs to click on the archway and spend some crystal dew, and everyone else can enter for free. Which archway should you go through? The center archway, labeled the black one, obviously. This is the cheapest archway and also the only way to access the purple Kia Crystal where you can get the Ander magic orbs. So that covers all the basics of tackling the Desert of the Lost. If this guide has helped you conquer this map, give it a like and subscribe. I have no doubt there will be players wondering if I'll make a guide specifically for the different bosses for Kia Crystal. For now, unfortunately, the answer is no, because the boss is just one-shot players, so there's no strategy needed, just a lot of endermans. In the future, if the bosses are rebalanced and actually require strategy and not my wallet, I'll definitely make a guide then. For now, my only tip for dealing with the bosses in Kia Crystal is to go on the lowest difficulty you can tolerate and kill it as fast as possible. Good luck!